Hi, I'm James Waterhouse, a foreign correspondent for BBC News, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I have set this up because the news is pretty hard to follow. That is what you tell us at the BBC. So I'm going to be posting pieces of my reporting from across the continent. I'm going to be posting interviews, behind the scenes footage, as well as explainers. Send me questions because the world we are in is changing, and it's changing at a pace we haven't seen for a very long time. In more recent history, it is Russia that is driving that change. Moscow, its president, Vladimir Putin, over the past quarter of a century has only become more hostile to Western countries, even aggressive. Now, over the past 4 years, I've spent most of that reporting from Ukraine, where that Russian aggression spilled over into a full-scale invasion just 6 weeks into my arrival in 2022. This was something I shot on my phone on the 24th of February. It was the first time I heard the air raid siren as troops were moving in from 3 directions. Here you could see Ukrainian soldiers burning documents. I remember thinking, what did they know? What do you know that I don't? We spent a lot of our time in those early weeks living and sleeping underground, telling the world about what was happening. We ventured above ground to report the horrors that were unfolding in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. We even flew close to the ground here by government helicopter to visit different cities around Ukraine, which is a massive country. The world was in shock, and I got to admit, being there in that intense environment, you often didn't realise just how big the shockwaves were from Vladimir Putin's decision to invade. Many Western countries always claimed he would do it. He'd been gathering tens of thousands of his troops along Ukraine's borders for months. But the feeling inside Ukraine was that he was bluffing. This is a country used to Russian aggression. There was a smaller conflict taking place in the east of the country. Few predicted what would happen after that morning on the 24th of February. Ukraine didn't just fight back. It won the Battle of Kyiv a month later. And then later that year, in 2022, it would take back forcibly swathes of territory captured by the Russians in the northeast and in the southern region of Kherson, where we joined them on their advance. In the Kherson region, there is activity. Military movements back and forth from Ukraine's counter-offensive. A logistical artery weaving through recently liberated villages. There are endless moments when this war feels pointless, and this is one of them. Whether villages like this are occupied or liberated, the result is the same. Communities are destroyed, but there is relief here and a belief that people can one day heal, and those are the reasons why Ukraine continues to fight. It was an exhilarating time to be reporting there. It really felt like you were watching history unfold, and Ukraine was showing the world, notably its allies, that it could just maybe win, and that caused an influx of further military support that President Zelensky had been asking for so long. This is one of my favourite photos. It's President Zelensky standing in the liberated city of Kherson. The Russians had just retreated across the Dnipro River. And he stood there and said, Kherson will be the first captured city of many to be liberated. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Ukraine mounted a counter-offensive the following summer. I joined troops for some of that, as you'll see in a separate video. And Ukraine has gradually been losing land. Russia has been able to make its size count. It's been gradually taking Ukrainian territory, albeit at a huge human cost. Ukraine has been suffering losses as well. But Donald Trump has said he wants to end this war. He's trying to make it a priority. I'll also do a second video on just how well peace talks are going. Spoiler alert, they're going nowhere at the moment. So that's an introduction. Please share and subscribe, and I look forward to walking you through the extraordinary times we find ourselves in.